Hi, Jeremy here with another shot from the golfing curriculum. Today we're looking at the driver with Matt, who by his own admission is
the worst golfer at this club.
He's very harsh on himself, and well, we're going to try and change that. We're going to try and shoot 90 within a year. I met him 6 weeks ago, and we're going to recreate the lesson that I gave him, because it is the lesson I give absolutely everybody who's trying to learn how to hit the driver properly. These three things are the first things that matter. If you don't do these, nothing else matters. Doesn't matter about your body turn, doesn't matter about shallowing the club, all the stuff that you're trying to do, create more rotation in the follow through, none of it matters unless you get these three things right, and anybody can do them. Free download coming later, but first, let's have a look at how Matt is getting on.
We didn't pull it off.
Right, Matt, before we talk about what we did, let's see a shot from this new driver stance and swing. Well, that's actually amazing. Not a hint of slice. It is a bit pulled, but it's a great shot, more than 200 yards down there. So that is absolutely fantastic. Right, so what we're going to do is show you exactly what Matt was getting wrong. Firstly in the driver stance, also in the grip, and also in the first part of his swing. Again, three essential things to get right. Firstly, Matt, you had your ball miles forward, did you not?
So, I think it was almost off the end of my little toe, sort of.
Exactly. And his grip wasn't right either, and that compromised his takeaway. Now, the terrible thing about having the ball too far forward, I tell you what, if you stand over by the camera, I'll show the camera exactly what was happening. His ball was a long way forward, sort of outside the wrong foot. Stance was miles too wide. What that did was made it possible for him to square the shoulders up. So with that ball position a long way forward, this shoulder line can't be right. You see this all the time. So the ball came back to opposite the left heel, and that squared up the shoulders. Now, if we talk about the stance, the number one thing to get right with the driver stance is ball forward, wide stance, but more importantly than any of that, head in the right position. Without the head being in the right position, the shoulders simply can't be square. So you felt, did you not, Matt, where that you were miles pointing to the right?
Yes.
Instead of this forward head position with the open shoulders. So this is the number one thing. You see the hands by the inside of the left leg. In terms of the stance, with all the clubs, not just with the driver, the head has to be in the right place for that club. There's a different head position and width of stance for each of the clubs, and we'll go through those on different videos. But for a driver, what we really want is that ball forward, because the club must approach on the level. We do not want the club approaching the ball on the downswing, and that stance gives us that, because the center point of the swing, my throat here, is now what we call behind the ball, and you can see the angle of attack will be level if I keep it there, whereas if I've got my shoulders open, pointing left, and my head that far forward, then it simply can't do what you would hope. So that was the first thing. Second thing was Matt's grip. Now, what he was doing was holding the club in the palm like this. Now that is not a good grip. I could see part of the handle above the club, and that makes the hands want to move in this direction, and you certainly get no speed that way. What we must do is place the club in the fingers. There's a few little tests for this. I like this one, which I've seen more recently actually Scotty Scheffler doing, where the fingers are at 90 degrees to the club and they simply fit round, and then you've got the whole hand to wrap over, and from this angle the V is to the right shoulder. That's made a huge difference to you, I think, has it?
Yeah, certainly much more control over it.
Yeah, much easier to square the face with 3 knuckles showing than with what you had before, which was 1. Unfortunately, your hand wants to be in this position as you hit the ball. If I bring the club up, that means with a weak 1 knuckle grip, you return the hand in this position here, and the club can't possibly square up unless you swing miles left, which again creates the spin. So we want the V's pointing up at the right shoulder, and also in the right hand as well. So both hands, much more of a finger grip than many appreciate. A bit like a hammer. That's to hold the club in my right hand as I would use as a hammer. Then I'd want to use it to bash a nail with some speed, use my wrist in the appropriate way. I'd put the club completely in the fingers. Now that's what we want, certainly in the left hand. And once Matt did that, it made a huge difference. Again, if you aren't gripping the club in the fingers, if you don't have the right number of knuckles, and if you don't have the right stance, your swing doesn't matter. It will have to compensate for those errors. So without that, nothing good can happen. So forget big turning, forget turning through the ball, forget almost everything, forget shallowing of the club, get the basics right, and then you will be on your way, just like Matt. Now there was one last thing which we'll show you from down the line, and that was to do the swing, but those two things alone helped him square the face, stopped him slicing, and you were slicing sort of 50 yards on each shot, weren't you, Matt?
Oh yeah, I was having to buy a lot of golf balls every single round as they were flying out of this golf course.
Right, Matt, this looks really good. Let's see a shot. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, you've hit 3 now, and both of them have gone in a straight line.
Yeah.
I'm super impressed with your progress. Let's talk about that last thing that we discussed 6 weeks ago,
Of course, yeah.
which was the path of the... Matt's takeaway was giving him grief as well. Just, I'll come and stand by you here, Matt. Just show us what you were doing in your takeaway. Yeah, the club face was rolling a little bit open, and that wasn't helping the slice at all. Also, the club was very much behind you. What you'd missed was this 9 o'clock spot with the club tilted. If you want to start your swing in a way that makes it easy, then 9 o'clock with the club tilted is a brilliant reference point, because this is exactly where you want to be when you come down to hit the ball. If you just turn your chest back to the ball and bring your arms with you, Matt, you see how easy it is to square the club from there. Whereas if I do this to you, open the face, have the club around, now turn your chest back to the ball and bring your arms with you, you feel like how much
You
work.
can see that's going to be coming across the ball.
This is a brilliant reference point. 9 o'clock here with the club face tilted, because what we're going to do is try and come back there. Yeah, so it was one thing for Matt to get to this position, which he's done really well. The other thing that slicers always do, and Matt was no exception, and partly actually the open shoulder line was causing this. He was using his body at the start of the downswing to turn back to the ball. Now if you do that without lowering the club back to 9 o'clock, the club is coming in super steep, which it did, and swinging left, which it did, and if the club face isn't open because the grip's not right and the club face angle isn't right, of course that adds up to a 50-yard slice, where most of Matt's shots when I met him ended up on the right side of the driving range, or even over it onto our 17th fairway. So Matt's keys now are really simple. I mean, this is not complicated. Anybody can do this. Remember, in his own words, he's the highest handicapper in the club. His handicap is 38, and he's been doing this for the last 6 weeks, and it made a huge difference to him. So, parallel here with the club face tilted, and you can see what I'm going to have to do to get it a bit down again. I'm going to get my arms back down again. I've shifted my weight a little bit, but the club has got to do all of the work from here in the time it takes for the club head to get back to 9 o'clock. My shoulder does that. So obviously the arms, the wrists, the hands, the club has got to move further. So we've really got to work on getting that down as we shift across. And now we can turn as much as we like. I don't think you'll ever, I think I said this to you, didn't I, Matt? I don't think you'll ever forget to finish the swing.
No.
But you might forget to lower the arms before you turn through. So those are the things that made such a difference. And yeah, in 6 weeks, the slice is gone. Right, this looks really good. Slightly narrower and beautiful shoulder line and tilt. And let's see. Great swing. Well done. A little bit to the right, but it's gone straight right, actually. So this is really, really, really different. Yeah. Well done. Well done. And we've only just stuck to the basics, haven't we?
Yeah.
You know, we haven't covered anything that's really complicated.
Yeah, it's just been basic setup and get those arms down before I turn.
Yep. Yep. We've really simplified the swing, and these concepts are such that anybody, even a new golfer, can put into practice. I'm really impressed with the improvement. Really well done.
Yeah, thank you.
Matt's made a great start, and well done to him. We'll see you next time for another lesson with Matt and another shot on the golfing curriculum. Thanks for watching.